Hi and welcome to another YouTube video. In today's video I want to show you a couple from Sulani that I made, and they are engaged, and so I also made them a wedding venue. But first I want to introduce these two to you. First up is Jamila, and she is super pretty. She is from Sulani and she lived there her whole life. She hasn't really seen much else of the world, but she is really interested in the sea and the fishes and in general the sea life. And because of that, she has become a professional diver and doesn't make a lot of money, but she is very happy with what she has, and she's in general a very cheerful person. Next up is Jacob, her husband-to-be, and he is originally from San Myshuno, and he has been working there very hard. He worked as an engineer very high in his career, and he was very burnt out. He wasn't really happy anymore for years now, and he decided to take a vacation to Sulani, and there he met Jamila. And he was fascinated by her positive attitude towards life and just her cheerful personality. The two were talking a lot, and he was very interested in her way of living, how she was so happy and content with so little material things. And yeah, the two instantly fell in love, but then his vacation ended and he sadly had to go back to San Myshuno. But the two stayed in contact, and after that he just knew that this life that he was living before in San Myshuno wasn't good for him. He couldn't really go back, so he cleared up a bunch of stuff in San Myshuno and packed all of his things, quit his job and went to Sulani to live with Jamila, and is a lot happier now, and the two have a very loving relationship. So he proposed to her and she said yes, and so these two are ready to get married on a beautiful beach wedding. At the end of the video I'm going to have some super cute screenshots of their wedding, and I'm super excited to show them to you because they turned out very cute. Because first it's some screenshots of their engagement, and the sun is bright, it's the middle of the day, and then when they are getting married the sun is nice and red and it's the evening, and during the party and at the end of the day it's night, of course. And yeah, I just love this little photo story at the end. But for now I'm going to go on and talk about this build. I did this build for the Sims Sparked challenge on the Sims gallery, of course, and I thought it was a very nice idea to have this destination wedding, and there are so many cute builds on there. When I saw all of these I thought, what's the point in even doing one of them, because they are awesome. But then I remembered what the point was, and that was to have fun and to take this challenge and be creative with this. And that's exactly what I did, and it even pushed me out of my comfort zone a little bit, because I usually don't build community lots. I build houses. I'm very comfortable and familiar with building houses, but I almost never build community lots. It's just less fun for me, even though this build in particular, especially with having this couple that I made in mind and having the perfect place for their wedding, it was actually really fun. So maybe I should do more community lots, and I should do them anyways, because I'm working on a save file where I want to do every single build myself, and because of that I should get more familiar with building community lots. And I uploaded both the couple and the wedding venue to the gallery in the Sims Sparked section, so I'm very excited to see how they are going to do, but I don't expect them to get much traction because there are such cool builds on there, and I know that I can't compete, but I wanted to share them anyways because I had a lot of fun doing them and I really liked how both of them turned out. so I definitely wanted to share them. I also watched the first episode of The Sims Spark this morning. By the way, I realized that I'm not actually talking a lot about this build at the moment. I'm sorry, I'll get to that later. But I watched the first episode and I had a lot of fun watching it and seeing so many of the creators that I know from YouTube and having them all together. It's just so much fun because in usual competition shows, in the first episode you really have to get to know everyone, and I usually can't really predict who is going to do how well and what their skill set is and all of that. But with this show, I know nearly every one of them from YouTube, and I know what they are capable of and how their personalities are and stuff, and that makes it very exciting for me to see them in this kind of show. And I'm very excited to see how it's going to play out and how these personalities are going to work together. And at the same time, I only know all of them from YouTube, and maybe they are different in a YouTube video where they can decide what they can put in and what they don't put in. So maybe there will be one or the other surprise as well. I don't really think so. I think simmers are very nice in general, but I'll just have to wait for some more episodes, and I'm very excited. Okay, but now I'm actually going to talk about the build. So with this, my plan was to have like 3 main areas. One, the biggest area in the middle, is the actual place where the wedding is going to happen, where they are going to exchange the rings and the family can sit and watch, and the friends of course too. And when they are done with that, on the right side there will be a little kitchen with 3 big tables for all of the guests to sit and eat and talk a little bit about the event or whatever they want really. And on the right side I wanted to have a dance floor with a music station and also a piano and a microphone and some presents and a photo box or photo booth or whatever you want to call it. And it was just way too much. It didn't all fit there, and sadly I had to get rid of the photo station. And that was very sad because I really liked the idea to have a photo station there, because that is a really realistic thing to have at a wedding, and also for your Sims it's very cute to be able to take couple photos of the married couple or the guests, and I don't really see that a lot in Sims wedding venues, even though that's very realistic. But it also was, I think, a good idea to delete that part because it had a very modern aesthetic, and this modern look didn't really fit with the beach vibe that I had going on, and it really distracted from that. And especially when you look at the front of it, it really distracted. So I think it was still a good idea to get rid of it. And by the way, when I was taking the screenshots, I also playtested the whole area, and magically your Sims can sit at every single one of these chairs, which I really didn't expect because Sims are sometimes very stupid with where they can get and where they can't, but here they can somehow get to every single chair, and that made me very happy. And another nice touch that I added near the end was some festive lighting. I used a lot of the city living ones and shrink them down, but sadly the tile count didn't fit exactly for them to build a perfectly nice square. But I tried to place them in a way where they don't intersect too much with each other, and when they do, it's in a place where you don't really notice, and so I could keep them because I really liked the look of them and also the height where they were set. And while I was just trying to finish up the build and wanted to rotate the jet ski that I had put down, it just started flying off in the air. I just tried to rotate it. This had never happened to me before. It just was way up in the air and I didn't find a way to get it down. And so I just had to delete it and place a new one, which wasn't a big deal, but it was a very funny moment that made me laugh when I built it, and I still don't know how it happened because I didn't even use the keys. I just used my mouse and wanted to rotate it and somehow it started flying off. But yeah, with that little funny thing that happened, this build is complete. I hope you liked and enjoyed this video, and if you would consider subscribing, you would make me super duper happy, and I hope we'll see each other again.